in the morning.
Welcome back to our channel, fellow Genoa City addicts. Today is a beautifully chaotic day, and I am absolutely buzzing with adrenaline after that heart-stopping episode. I am literally shaking right now. I cannot even process what I just watched on my screen, and I am typing this up at 2 a.m. because I absolutely need to get this out of my system and vent to people who actually get it. Are you guys seeing this? I cannot believe they actually went there with Patty Williams and Diane Jenkins Abbott. And I am so furious, so validated, and so terrified all at the same time. I mean, we all knew Patty was a ticking time bomb, but injecting Diane in the neck with a lethal syringe in the middle of the hospital, I am losing my mind over here. I have been watching this show for years, and this is easily one of the most insane, edge-of-your-seat moments we have had in a long time. But wait, before I even get into the syringe of doom, can we talk about the absolute, staggering incompetence of the Genoa City Police Department? I am sorry, but Christine Williams and Detective Burrow are the most useless people on the planet right now. I mean, how do these people still have jobs? Patty's master plan to frame Diane was going so smoothly, and it is entirely because Christine and Burrow share half a brain cell between them. They are so blindingly biased and inept. They literally bought Dr. Lawrence Markham's ridiculous story that locking Diane in a house with barred windows was psychiatric therapy. Like, what? What kind of legitimate medical professional locks a woman in a room with actual iron bars and calls it therapy? And the police just nodded and said, sure, makes sense. It makes my blood boil. And they didn't even bother to question Kyle. Kyle had a rock-solid alibi for his mother. He was literally with her, trying to save her, and Detective Burrow just completely ignores it because it doesn't fit his lazy narrative. Christine is so desperate to nail Diane for anything that she is willing to overlook a glaringly obvious frame job by a known psychopath. I know some people are loving seeing Diane squirm, but personally, I am so sick of the GCPD treating the Abbotts like criminals while actual lunatics run around the hospital unchecked. Okay, back to the main point. Patty freaking Williams. I can't even believe the audacity of this woman. She actually sneaks into Jack's hospital room dressed in a full nurse's outfit. Because of course she does. Remember when she did the whole plastic surgery thing to look like Dr. Emily Peterson? Yeah, playing dress-up and stealing identities is kinda her specialty. Didn't work then, and it shouldn't work now, but here we are. She is standing over an unconscious Jack Abbott with a syringe full of lethal poison, just ranting like an absolute lunatic. She is literally telling an unconscious man that he has to die because he chose Diane over her. The delusion is off the charts. She truly believes that if she can't have Jack, no one can. She has completely lost her grip on reality, and it is terrifying to watch. And she even admitted her whole twisted logic to Dr. Markham. She told that shady, fake doctor that she had to kill Jack before he woke up because Jack knows she was the one who stabbed him. She knew her time was running out. She knew that the second Jack opened his eyes, her entire fantasy world would crumble, and she would be exposed as the monster she is. So her solution? Just murder the man she claims to love so desperately. It is so sick and twisted, but Stacey Haydick or whoever is channeling this crazy energy right now is just acting her heart out. You can see the frantic, manic desperation in every single movement she makes. So Patty is hovering over Jack, needle poised, ready to push the plunger and send Jack to the great Abbott mansion in the sky. I was holding my breath, literally gripping my couch cushions, screaming at the TV for someone to wake up or walk in. And then, the most random hospital guard opens the door. He actually thinks she's a real nurse. He asks about Jack's vitals, and Patty, without missing a single beat, looks at him and says Jack narrowly escaped death. Which is the most chillingly true statement ever, because she was 1 millisecond away from ending his life. But you can see the absolute rage in her eyes at being interrupted. She gets so annoyed that her murder plot is put on hold, so she covers her face, acts like she is just doing her rounds, and scurries out of the room to avoid detection. But karma is real, folks, because the second Patty steps out of that room and into the hallway, who does she see? Diane and Kyle. The timing, it was cinematic perfection. Patty takes one look at them, realizes she has been spotted, and just bolts down the hallway like a rat fleeing a sinking ship. Kyle immediately snaps into action. He starts screaming at the top of his lungs for the guards to chase her. And God bless Kyle. He actually has his priorities straight in the middle of a crisis. He runs into the room to check on Jack, realizes his dad is still breathing and safe for the moment, and immediately calls Detective Burr to demand backup. But Kyle knows Patty is a lethal weapon, and he is terrified she's going to go after his mom. He knows Diane is vulnerable, so he takes off running after them, desperate to stop a tragedy. Now we get to the scene of the decade. Diane catches up to Patty, and let me tell you, Diane did exactly what every single one of us would do in that situation. She shoves Patty against the wall and starts choking her. Yes, Diane. I know she has a shady past, and I know she faked her own death in 2011, but in this moment, she is a fierce mama bear and a protective wife. She is not a damsel in distress. I love it when Diane fights back. Choking the woman who stabbed your husband and tried to frame you is an entirely appropriate reaction, if you ask me. She had Patty pinned, and for a second, I thought Diane was actually going to end it right there. But then, the unthinkable happens. Just when Diane has Patty cornered and gasping for air, Patty pulls out that lethal syringe, the one meant for Jack. And she just jams it right into Diane's neck. In her neck, I screamed. I literally screamed at my television so loud I probably woke up my neighbors. I can't even process the sheer brutality of it. Diane's eyes go wide, the shock registers on her face, and you can just see the life draining out of her instantly. The poison works so fast. Kyle rounds the corner just in time to see his mother collapse, and he catches her as she falls. The raw emotion from Michael Miller in that scene, give him the me right now. He is holding his dying mother, screaming for help, picking her up in his arms, and rushing her to the air. It was so intense, I was sobbing. I am so emotionally invested in this family. It's not even funny. Kyle already lost his mother once when she faked her death, and the trauma of watching her actually die in his arms is going to destroy him. And then, finally, the useless GCPD actually does something right. The guards and the police swarm the area, and Detective Burr was right there to officially slap the cuffs on Patty. It happened in the Thursday US episode, and seeing Patty finally get arrested and dragged away was so incredibly satisfying. But at what cost? Diane's life is hanging by a thread. If this had happened anywhere else but the hospital, Diane would be dead. Period. The only reason she has a fighting chance is because the doctors were right there to start emergency procedures. But even then, the poison is lethal. But you know who is not going to let this go? The Abbott sisters. Tracy and Ashley are going to rain hellfire on Patty Williams. Tracy is usually the peacemaker, the sweet one who writes novels and bakes cookies and tries to see the good in everyone. But not today. Tracy and Ashley have publicly vowed to make Patty pay for everything she has done to their family. And honestly, an angry Tracy is a terrifying Tracy. I am so here for the Abbott women banding together to protect their brother and, surprisingly, to get justice for Diane. I mean, Tracy just confronted Diane recently about faking her death and all the pain she caused, but when it comes to an outsider attacking the family, the Abbotts close ranks. I kinda love it. Ashley is going to use every ounce of her power and influence to make sure Patty never sees the light of day again. And just when you think the episode can't pack in any more drama, Jack finally wakes up. Our silver fox is back. He opens his eyes, weak and groggy, and Tracy is sitting right by his side. It was such a beautiful, tender moment amidst all the blood and chaos. Jack starts getting his memories back. He remembers the attack at the mansion. He remembers Patty plunging the knife into him. He tells Tracy everything, confirming exactly what we all knew. And this is the moment we have been waiting for. The absolute truth, straight from the victim's mouth. No more of Patty's lies. No more of Markham's gaslighting. But then Tracy has to break the horrible news to him. She has to tell Jack that while he was unconscious, Patty went on a massive framing spree. She tells him that Patty blamed Diane for the stabbing, and that the idiot police actually arrested his wife for it. Can you imagine waking up from a near-death experience to find out your psycho ex framed your current wife for your murder? Jack looks so weak but so fiercely determined. He is furious. Tracy assures him that now that he's awake, he can tell the police the truth. His testimony is the golden ticket. It is the only thing that will officially clear Diane's name and expose Patty to the authorities once and for all. But here's the tragic, heartbreaking irony of it all. Jack thinks his testimony is going to bring his wife back home to him safe and sound. He doesn't know the truth yet. Tracy doesn't tell him right away that Diane is currently fighting off a lethal injection. The family is hiding Diane's condition from him because he is too fragile, and the shock might literally kill him. I am dreading the moment Jack finds out. I am absolutely dreading it. He is going to blame himself. He's going to think that if he hadn't humored Patty, if he hadn't tried to play her game, Diane wouldn't have a needle in her neck. The guilt is going to consume him, and I am not ready for those scenes. So what happens next? Will Diane survive this poison? I mean, she has to, right? They didn't bring her back from the dead just to kill her off with a random syringe. But she might be in a coma for a long time, which means Carl is going to go completely off the deep end. I predict Carl is going to channel his inner Victor Newman and go on a massive revenge tour. I know some people are loving this dark, twisted storyline, but personally, my heart can't take much more of the Abbott family suffering. I need Jack and Diane to have a happy reunion, but I know this is a soap opera, so we are miles away from a happy ending. All I know is, I will be glued to my screen tomorrow, probably yelling at my television again, because seriously, this show is going to give me a heart attack.